Now, to get us started, as I said, we are keen for discussion from the floor. So I'll ask for the house lights to come up so that we can hear contributions from the floor. And we'll begin with some thoughtful contributions from people who we've asked to outline their positions on these issues. We're breaking the session into two halves, as it were. The first module really is, we titled it, Will We Starve or Will We Burn? And it's basically outlining the problems that we face. And then the second module, after 2 o'clock, we'll be looking at who should take action, what are the policy initiatives that should be taken, and so on. So I'm keen for a free-flowing discussion, and we'll go where the discussion takes us. But to begin our discussion for us, I'm going to call on Oisin Coughlin, please. And, oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. I thought they already had a mic, so bear with us. Thanks, Oisin.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Leo. My name is Oisin Coughlin. I'm the director of Friends of the Earth Ireland, an organisation that campaigns for environmental justice and sustainability, and part of a global federation of 75 such organisations, mostly in the global south. So my initial point is this. There's a concerted effort here in Ireland to promote a narrative that increasing Irish food production is a vital contribution to global food security, and therefore any action to reduce climate-changing emissions here in Ireland should put no limit on the expansion of Irish agriculture or Irish agricultural emissions. In reality, of course, it's climate change that is one of the greatest threats to food security, not action to contain climate change. Other main causes of food insecurity are conflict, natural disasters, poverty, access to agricultural inputs, and good seeds for small farmers. A shortage of Irish agricultural produce is not now, never has been, and never will be a cause of global food insecurity. There's no shortage of food globally. The problem is not production, it's distribution. The 1 billion people who go hungry every day could be fed with just 3% of current world food supply. We in Ireland are not going to feed the world by increasing Irish beef and dairy production. In fact, we're not planning to. We're planning to feed the growing Chinese and Indian middle classes, not the hungry in Africa. We are already on a path to a 5 to 6 degree warmer world, when we know that a 4 degrees Celsius rise will mean agricultural yields decline for almost everything, and almost everywhere. The pursuit of agricultural production and expansion here in Europe is not part of the solution to food insecurity globally. Rather, it's a cause of climate change and a cause of food insecurity. Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much. And I'll also call on Michael Barry, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Barry. I work for the food and drink industry in Ireland with a specific responsibility for the primary agricultural sector. Will we starve or will we burn? Well, of course, neither is an acceptable or an appealing outcome, is it? Here in Ireland, we're lucky to have a very good soil and climate balance that enables us to produce food in perhaps one of the most sustainable manners globally. Our dairy and meat is produced on grass-based farms, family farms, which is probably the idyllic way of producing food. But tackling climate change is something that we all have got to address, even for those of us that are fortunate enough to operate in an environment as favourable for food production as this. But this is a debate about people, and people in a world that is expanding rapidly, and that poses a challenge. We must not create a policy that sends hunger against environment, people versus planet, because this in itself would not be sustainable. Our challenge is to produce more food in a more sustainable manner in the most sustainable regions of the world, so that our impact on the climate is minimized. Policy is not sustainable when it restricts food production in the most sustainable regions of the world, especially when different countries have different policies on climate change. Then restricting the production of sustainable food transfers the production of that food to regions where sustainability is not a priority. The focus, therefore, must be on sustainable food production in sustainable regions, and not simply on the attainment of national political targets. While Ireland enjoys one of the most sustainable systems of agriculture, our farmers are currently being advised on how to produce that food more sustainably. Currently, 33,000 Irish farmers are being independently audited against sustainability credentials. And we will expand that to encompass all farmers throughout the country. That's our vision of sustainable food production, and we hope you can support us in this journey to make sure that we all neither starve nor burn.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much. Now, you, the audience, get your chance to have your first say, as it were. We're going to begin our poll of the audience, and we're going to start by asking you a straightforward question. Would you rank how you would eradicate hunger and reduce climate change? So basically, if you think number 4 is your highest priority, you key that in first. If you think number 2 is your second, you put that in second, and so on. That should be fairly straightforward for you, and I'll ask you now to respond to that as the polling is open. And once we've done that, I'll be asking the expert panel to begin introducing us to the science behind the issues that we've already heard from. And I look forward to hearing contributions. Each of them I'll be keen for each of them to make a general opening statement at some stage during the proceedings, but they'll be chipping in with insight as we proceed, and I'll be asking them to specifically respond to issues as they get raised. So now that is very interesting indeed. I hope the panelists can see that. Marion, you're having trouble seeing it, are you? Yeah, it's all right like that. Yeah, sorry about that now. Okay, now that is really interesting, and what is even going to be more interesting, because we've got such an interesting balance between the two, I think it'll be interesting to see how that compares at the end of our discussion, because I will ask the same question at the end of our debate. So that's, I think, will produce some. It'll be very interesting to see the changes. Now, the second question. Do you think agriculture is decreasing its greenhouse gas emissions effectively? And again, in this case, you've just 3 answers, so I'll ask you to vote now, as it were. Okay, well, there's a clear view that agriculture is sitting on the fence on that issue.